There is a lot of personal empowerment that comes with having high standards. It feels so good. I remember I was dating this guy at one point. I don't know if I ever told you guys the story. Hello, angels. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys don't know me, if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Asha Christina. I want to talk about this subject, as you guys can see from the title, about what is the deal with humbling women that have high standards. You're going to want to tune into this. But before we do, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Just because, hi, hello. Do you miss me? I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I'm talking so fast, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I know the holidays can be tough for some people. For me, my brother just got engaged. So it was really a good thing for me because of the fact that my grandma passed away like last year. So it's our first Thanksgiving without her. So kind of gave us something to look forward to. So it's been pretty good for me. And anyways, let's jump right on into this video. So I've noticed an extreme influx of there being content that's out there that are wanting to humble women for having high standards. Now, there are a lot of different sectors out there. Before we even get into what I mean by this, I want to express whom I'm talking to. Now, there are two types of women that I'm going to be referencing pretty much. There are the types of women that, you know, or like, I guess you would consider like the Instagram baddie type of girls, which I am not. And then you have the more traditional type of woman, and that can come in many forms. Like that can look like someone like myself. That can look like more like cottage core, like people that are more, that have more traditional, I would even say like conservative type of values, which is something that I do hold, especially the older that I become. And so those examples are to which I'm going to be referencing. But for me and myself, being more of a traditional conservative type of woman, these standards that I discuss and the mindset that I want you guys to adapt are something that I will die on. Like I will die on that hill because I said what I said. Now, when we as women raise our standards, it forces men to collectively stand up. I was having a discussion the other day, and it was basically about the fact that what if a guy is working that 9-to-5 job and he's still unable to bring, you know, more to the table? It's still not enough. Usually guys with these types of perspective, they have come from a history of dating the types of women that to me, don't really have a realistic expectation of money. Now, hear me out. I know we talk about princess treatment. We talk about, you know, being treated like a queen, all these different things. Nothing wrong with that. But ladies, I want us to understand when it comes to managing our expectations in this regard, what exactly that looks like, right? So realistically, if you want to talk numbers, right? And this is something I've had a discussion, okay, with a guy, and he literally broke it down to me. Coming from a numbers perspective, if you are someone that wants to have nice things, right? I too, myself, I love to have nice things. That there's nothing wrong with that. But if every week you're expecting to get a Chanel bag and you want to go out to the biggest steakhouse, the top steakhouse 3 times a week, all the people that I know, please let me know in the comment section down below. Millionaires, people that I actually know in real life, people that I've actually dated that have their own businesses, great houses, all these different things. They don't spend money the way that I see a lot of the Instagram baddies spending money. I don't really see it. And it sets you up for more of a transactional type of relationship. If you're not someone like myself that wants something that's actually fulfilling and long lasting, they're not going to be spending money like that. Doesn't mean you won't get these things at all. What it means is it's not going to come in the form that you think. You're not going to be every single week. You're posting that you're getting a Chanel bag, then you got a Birkin bag, then you got all these things. And I'm not demonizing those people. I'm just saying, know your audience. I'm also saying, consider which side you're on, because the guys that are going to be giving you these things all the time are a certain type of guy, right? And the guy that can actually afford these things, or maybe he actually cannot afford to, you know, do some of these things, but he still can provide you a great lifestyle. You have to consider which side of the spectrum that you're on. It's just food for thought. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the fact that we do need to raise our standards as it pertains to dating, okay? Especially from a traditional perspective. Okay, this is the part that I feel like no one really talks about, right? I feel like no one really talks about the fact that once you do start to receive that treatment from, like, you know, the princess treatment, all these different things, there's like a there's like a certain like guilt, I feel like, that you can tend to have where it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even do anything. He's treating me this good. It's like, whoa, like the bar had to be set like a little low because of the fact that you've gone through so much garbage in your life, right? It's like, as women, we do have to endure so much, it seems like, to finally get to the good guy. And so when you finally do get a good guy, you're getting a guy that's such a gentleman, he's being consistent, he's treating you so well, it's kind of hard to believe because you almost feel like, what did I do to like get this treatment from this person? Like, it's like these weird feelings. Let me know in the comment section down below if this is something that you can relate to, because I can. Holding your standards high and to a high regard is not necessarily about being unrealistic. Let's remove that right now. Having high standards is not unrealistic. What you need to figure out is what high standards means to you. You need to figure out what that means to you. Like, for me, high standards means someone that, one, from a not even financial perspective, but from the perspective of relationship. Does this person have the same faith as me? Does he have the same outlook on life as me? Because if I'm getting, which I've already have in the past, if I'm getting the finances, that's like, okay, box checked, then what about the rest? Like, that's still missing. I believe you can have a life that encompasses all the things that you actually want. I do actually believe that. And I do believe that a guy is capable of being consistent, that he's capable of being monogamous and all these different things. I've seen it. I've lived it. I'm living it. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I know that it is actually possible. So when you have people out there that are saying, oh, it's unrealistic because these are the statistics, it's happening all around me. So I don't care what world you live in, because this is the world that I live in. And people that are always doing less always have so much to say about the people that are doing more. It's just an observation. So when you are someone that holds yourself to a high standard, okay, and you finally are able to come across someone that is consistent with you and he is taking you out on dates, he's treating you nice, you don't feel this pressure to have to pay him in some sort of way. Because let's take it back for my traditional girlies out there. This is a part of how society is supposed to function from a traditional perspective. Men are supposed to be earning your affection. And before we even get into this whole debate about, oh, well, what do you bring to the table? Blah, 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 all these different things. Men and women are great at different things. We are not meant to be competing against one another. We are not against one another. There are things that men are great at, and there are things that women are great at. Okay. The guys buy the house, right? We help to build the home. We help to nurture that house. That's what we're bringing to the table. So it's not really about, oh, well, I just took out the garbage and you're living in this house. So go make me a sandwich and go do this, and bossing that person and bossing that woman around. It's not necessarily about that. It's about the fact that men are supposed to be doing a certain job. Women are supposed to be doing a certain job. That's really it. Argue with your mother. I'm not here to argue with you. The standards are what they are for a reason. A lot of these guys are punching above their weight. Okay, punching above their weight. And so they feel like, because I can't afford this woman that I really want, I'm going to go and tell this woman, oh, that's not realistic what you want, because you simply can't do it. There is someone for everyone. Go find your tribe. Don't come in my world, in my vortex, and you're trying to dictate to me and try to push your belief system on me, because I'm not pushing my belief system on you. I'm not saying get a better job and make more money for yourself. No, I'm not even paying attention to you. So why are you paying attention to me? You see what I'm saying? Punching above their weight. You naturally are going to weed out certain types of men when you have high standards. Now, that's not to say that certain, people, everybody likes nice things. Everybody likes nice things. So yeah, there will be some people that fall between the cracks. However, you will weed out a certain type of person. There is a certain type of man you're going to weed out when you're not sitting here after what is this rule that people have? After the third date, you go and sleep with that person. After the third date. So let's say you go on 2 dates in a week. You see that person 2 times in a week, and then you see them again for the third time. You've known this person for a week and a half, and you're going to give your body to somebody that you know in a week and a half. Okay. Like, if you think about it and you think about the gravity of the things that you're doing, Okay, we're older now. If you're thinking about the gravity of the things that you were doing, you're not really going to live your life by that rule, right? Okay. There is a natural elimination process when you have certain high standards for yourself. End of story. You're going to weed out the lazy men, right? The men that they have low effort. They don't want to do anything. Oh, hey, I was thinking, and be careful of the con mans, right? Oh, I'd love to make dinner reservations with you. And then the day of the dinner reservation comes and they're like, oh my goodness, something totally came up. We're not going to be able to make it for that time. And the restaurant said that they're booked. You don't even check because you're going to think, oh, why would he lie about that? Next thing you know, he goes, but I'd love for you to stop by if you want, because I really want to see you super bad. I really do. And I don't want to mess this up. So what did he do? He conned you into not going to the restaurant, but instead going to your house. If you were not careful, ladies, this can seem like, oh my gosh, he's so sweet. He really wants to see me. He wants to see me so bad that he's like, listen, I don't want this day to go by without promising that we're going to see each other. So why don't you just come stop by my place and like, hey, I can like cook you a little something. And you know what I mean? Girl, no. Did he even make that reservation? Did he even make that reservation? If it smells funny, it's because it's funny. Let me tell you something, okay, about even online dating, all right? Which you guys know I hate. There was a guy that I was talking to at one point in online dating. He's calling me. He called me. It was pretty short notice at that time. And I was like, I felt a little weird about it. His profile said that he was like 37 or something, right? And then, but on his bio, it said like 39. But then when he spoke on the phone with me, he said he was 40. I already knew in my head, I'm thinking, liar, but I'm like, okay, Asha, keep going, see what happens. He calls me. We have a great conversation. He goes, listen, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And of course, I'll be texting you throughout the day so that we can make sure that we're going on the date. Fast forward the date, the next day shows up. This man does not say a single word to me. I said to myself, I'm supposed to be seeing this person for what? 7 p.m. Okay. If he doesn't text me by 4:35, to me, the date's off. And I have done that plenty of times in my life. I've had a guy show up to a restaurant and I was in my bed, book open, maybe watching a show, because I'm not showing up. Because to me, it's disrespectful. You don't know me. I don't know you. So all I have is your word. You can't keep your word. We're done. You're blocked. End of story. So like I said, it's going to weed out the lazy, low effort men. All right. It's going to weed out the non-committal men. Guys that are really for you and really you can't run away the guy that really wants to be with you. Please remember this. You cannot run away the guy that really wants to be with you, sweetie. Okay. You could cancel a date. Okay. Well, I mean, you can do all this stuff. Even when my parents met, right? My mom canceled like almost 2-3 times on my dad. He's like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do if she cancels one more time? Like, I think I might just end up giving up because I don't really know, like, if she's really interested. They're married. They've been married for, like 30 years. Okay. So the point is you can't run away the person that really wants to be with you and that's going to put in the effort to be with you. There is a certain, and it's like all the men that truly are ready for commitment, they fall in line. It's like all of a sudden they're all reading out of the same manual. All right. Just like the broke is a joke czar and the ridiculous and the non-committal men are reading out of the same book, sipping on the same tea. Men with no drive and ambition. You mean to tell me that a part of your man's daily routine is playing video games and you're sitting here trying to, get him to work and do all this stuff, but he has to escape? Let me tell you something. That is psychologically a form of him accomplishing something, but he's not accomplishing something else. Be careful of men who try and manipulate you. Oh, well, I'm trying, like, I'm applying to places and all these different things. That's not the life that you want for yourself. And you're supposed to be made to feel bad because you have a certain amount you have a certain level of standards for yourself. Don't feel bad for the standards that you have for yourself. It's just you're asking the wrong person. You're asking the wrong person. And the longer that you stay in your misery, you're making it bad for the both of you. Someone has got to call it. It's over. It's done. And I know I'm sitting here behind a screen and I'm like, it's over. It's done. And it's like really easy for me to say, but I mean, am I wrong? No. So yeah. Inconsistent men. That's another type of guy that you're going to weed out. Okay. Men that want to see you, but then they don't want to see you. Something comes up. Let me tell you something. Men that are very interested in something new do not cancel. The only thing that has power over you to cancel is something old that they have old emotional baggage to. All right. In between a new prospect and other options that they don't have emotional ties to, you're going to win because you're the new conquest. Okay. So men that are being inconsistent, it's usually because they are involved in something else. Also, immature men, you want to weed those out too. Keeping your standards high means what matters. And let me answer some of these questions for you. What matters as it pertains to keeping your standards high? Monogamy, end of story. All right. Having those traditions of a man providing for the household, a woman nurturing the household. Okay. And having that consistency, open and honest communication. I'm sorry, I didn't even get to the finances part, but people are already dropping like flies. You see how that works? They're already dropping like flies. Yeah. So at the end of the day, having these high standards, a lot of the times the conversation seems to stem around only finances. Yes, that's a big part because let's not ignore the statistics of the divorce rates of people that usually tend to divorce over financial, situations. However, what about the rest of it? Because usually we can't even get to the finances because the rest of what I just talked about isn't even touched. It's going to weed out the immature men in your life. And this is why you must keep the standards. I understand sometimes it gets lonely. The holidays are upon us. You want to be with someone so bad. So you go back to your ex who literally ain't, anyway, he ain't nothing. And then you find yourself having all these old emotions and things like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't understand how I ended up here. And sometimes we have to take responsibility and not be the own architect of our own misfortune. I'm just saying. There is a lot of personal empowerment that comes with having high standards. It feels so good. Let me tell you something. I remember I was dating this guy at one point and I was like so irritated. I don't know if I ever told you guys the story. I was so irritated about how our date went because we went out and then long story short, the waiter comes back to the table and she's like, hey, do you guys is there anything else you guys want? He goes, no, we'll take the check. Thank you. I'm thinking, sweetie, I want dessert. Da, da, da. I didn't say anything. I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna go tit for tat with anybody. I'm not an argumentative type of person. And it bothered me to my core because it's not you deciding that I didn't even want it. He didn't even ask and check. I've never had that happen to me before. Someone didn't even ask me, hey, is that all that you want? Are you good to go? Is there anything else that you need? I never experienced that before. So that was whoa, red flag. Fast forward, he ended up essentially breaking up with me. Randomly. He was acting funny one random week and then he decided to break up with me. Totally cool. Comes back around 2 weeks later thinking that something was going to stem from that. No, it's not. And so I tried out set my standards high. I tried out my first no and block on him. Nothing happened. Wasn't a big argument. Wasn't anything that serious. We literally spoke about why we were breaking up, all these different things. I just was like, no. The answer is no. You will not come back into my life and be like, whoops, my bad. No, because when you don't value something, you lose it. And that's his lesson to learn. Because in the end, anyways, I assessed the reason you broke up with me was for literally no reason. I still to this day have no idea why it was. Whatever excuses he was trying to sell to me was just BS. Wasn't buying it, but I let it go. I let him die on that hill. And I know he regrets it. We ended up seeing each other after, physically seeing, not dating. It was fine. I was cordial with him, whatever. One thing about me, I'm always going to be cordial. I just know where I stand, but I'm always going to be respectful of people. End of story. When you know your worth, it's going to positively affect your self-esteem. You're not going to constantly be making these impulsive decisions. And then you turn around and you're like, I just don't understand why this keeps happening to me. There's nothing worse than a victim and someone that constantly participates in their own misfortune. And then they turn around, they're like, I just don't understand why this keeps happening to me. I just don't get why I keep ending up in these situations. I don't get why I keep attracting the exact same type of guy. It is because your picker is off. It is because you're not keeping your standards at a certain level because to you thought, man, maybe my heart should rest here. And then you got bamboozled. Then you invested so much time in that dynamic. You turn around, you don't want to let that dynamic go anymore. It's interesting how that works. When I tell you guys, in all honesty, that dynamic that I was talking about before, where that guy, like, we broke up, he broke up with me, and he tried to get back together with me literally 2 weeks later. It felt so good because I'm telling you guys, that set the precedent for the remainder of my life, where I said, things don't have to get bad in order for me to leave. Things can end on an amicable note completely, and I don't need to dig deeper, to figure out why and give it a chance just because, okay, well, maybe he realized he made a mistake. No. When you don't value something, you lose it. End of story. And I will stand on that. I'm going to let these temporary feelings pass, let the ego do its thing, but I'm not going to feed into it. The respect and the rapport that you will have for yourself when you stand on your standards is inexplicable. But it is so worth it. And I want to point this out. There will be a lot of naysayers, because I get a lot of those too, and I could care less, of people saying, girl, well, everything isn't about this, Shut up. I'm not even why are you even here? Like, I don't even know why you're here. I don't understand why people at certain points feel the need, because this is a positive platform anyways, but there are certain people that are bothered that tend to come to my channel and they feel the need to express their utter disagreement, disapproval of what it is that I'm talking about. How did you end up here? How did you end up watching content that you don't even like? Wow. I'm sorry that your life is like that. I really am. Like I always used to say, I'm not badgering somebody about their boyfriend being a barista at Starbucks. So, like, why are you upset because I date successful guys? Like, what's the problem? Like, I don't get it. Like, why is it bothering you so much? Is it because secretly you really want that life and you just can't get it? So you're just going to badger me about how, it's not all about that for you? I'm not telling you, oh girl, you need to make sure that you are like getting on my level. I'm not on your side of town. Why are you on mine? Check it. You are going to face a lot of criticism and pushback when you are someone that has high standards. There will be so many people out there that will tell you, girl, well, not everyone's perfect. That's their version. First of all, I know not everyone's perfect. Shut up. What I'm saying, not everyone's version of perfectionism one even is the same, okay? That's the beauty in what makes the world go round. However, people want to say these things to you because their version of this is so different than yours. They can't fathom how you're living the life that you're living and why you think and feel the way that you do, because it's not possible for them. It is outside of the realm of possibility for them. So they have to project those insecurities and things on you. And they feel the need to give you what they think is a reality check because it's just not possible for them in their world. Women that want to date providers, which I have, my sentiment about some things have evolved throughout the duration of me having this channel. However, at the baseline of things, I stand on what I stand on, and that is that women should absolutely be dating providers. And I said what I said, and that will never change. And baby, that's also in the Bible. So check that. All right? It's never going to change for me. No. Just now, okay? It will never change. And at the end of the day, all women do secretly want this. Okay. Even the girls that are like, what is that like mix everyone talks about where it's like, I'm independent, but I also want to be spoiled, like whatever. Like every woman in their true core, whether they believe it or not, they want a guy that's going to be able to provide for them so that they can live their soft life and they can have that princess treatment and bring things back to how they are traditionally supposed to be. So you can sit there, watching me on a computer screen and judge and pretend like I have no idea what I'm talking about and I'm so unrealistic, and you can hate from the outside of the club because you can't even get in. So yeah, it doesn't affect me. It's like it bounces right off of me. I really could care less. Like my channel, everything I talk about, I stand on, and it's covered by Jesus Christ. The blood of Jesus. Thank you. This is what I want to say before we conclude in regards to navigating life with people that are going to be naysayers. First of all, keep your business private to you. People cannot attack what they do not know. You feeling the need like you're on a certain level and maybe you want people around you to come up to a certain level. Don't preach to them in a way that's going to make them feel like, oh, so you're different now. And all of a sudden you want to change. So all of us should change too. Let people do what they want to do so you could see what they would rather do, and let things naturally evolve and run its course, right? We all come from, one level to the next. All of us do in life. And I understand what it feels like to want everyone to elevate around you at the same time, but not everyone can go and not everyone's going to get it. There will be a lot of, pushback in regards to the standards that you have, especially from men that will tell you that you were unrealistic. They will tell you that, oh, good luck finding that. They want to project that hopelessness onto you because to them, they're not willing to work hard enough to get and to live that traditional lifestyle. So they would rather you deal with whatever they want you to deal with. All right. They want to do the 50-50. They want to have you cook, clean, have their children, and go half on the bills. And, they want traditional expectations while they live under the gender role of a traditional woman. That doesn't make any sense to me. And that's where we are twisted as a society. And that's honestly where we have gone wrong. End of story. You be prepared for the pushback that you will receive for having these level of high standards. And I'm not talking about the standards that the Instagram models, tend to have, because I don't exist in that world. That's their thing. That's their thing for them to talk about. But in order to be a traditional woman, period, you have to carry yourself. That's another subject. Let me know if you guys want me to make a video about that as well. You have to carry yourself in a certain way. I am very interested in talking more about these types of subjects of having that more of traditional, conservative, more modest type of living and lifestyle. Living meaning like how you present yourself and things like that. I want to know, if you are still watching, what is your biggest non-negotiable when it comes to dating? What is that? I want to know, because I want us to share this in the comment section down below, because we can really help each other. We could put each other on like, oh girl, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was something I should have looked for. I also want to know what your dating experiences have been like for when you've lowered your standards at a certain point versus to when you've raised them, and what treatment have you gotten as a result. So that is the end of this video. Angels, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget that I love you and God loves you. And I'll speak to you beautiful angels in my next video. And before you go, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Love you.